Quasi here, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how I went from 0 to 100K months in my business. And really by the end of this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 keys and the 3 biggest takeaways that helped me do that. This is also going to be a personal video from me and really where I started off before I even started my business and how I evolved through this, the biggest lessons I've learned that helped me pass through the different stages of my business and how you can begin to apply this in your life and in your business right now. I really want you to stick around to the very end of this video because this is something I've never shared before and we're going to be getting deep down into my personal story. So before I begin this video, I want to quickly announce that a few spots are open now for the free one-to-one consult with me for the Reality Mastery program. So wait till the end of the video for the announcement on that. And with that, let's get started. So in this video, I want to talk to you about how I finally hit my goal of doing 100K months in my business. Now, there might be a lot of you who are skeptical, so right now I'm going to put proof that I did hit this goal. Hey guys, so here I am in my backend system. Just to show you, this is Quasi Joe here LLC, and I solely own this. And refreshing the page just to give you proof. So the month of January was my first 100K month, and on Stripe alone, we did 96K in cash collected. And PayPal, January 1st to January 31st, another additional 10K, and another additional 4K in bank transfers. So that adds up to 109K. And then the month before that, December, was an 85K month, as you're going to see later on in the video. And then before that, November was one of the down months. And really, I'm going to show you how I overcame this challenge by changing my internal world. I went from 55K to making my first 110K month in January. October was a 70K month. And also before that, in September, was a jump from August, and I made my first 70K. So this is 56K in Stripe. And in the month of September, additional 15K in PayPal. So with that, let's get back to the video. So in this journey to getting to 100K months in profit in my business, there were 3 biggest stages that I had to go through. So for a lot of you who've been following my channel and who do know where I came from, where I started my very first video up here, who've been following me since then, thank you so much. I really want to thank you for that, for sticking around with me through this journey. And also, this channel has been an interesting one because it's really been documenting my journey from where I started, the middle stages, and how I've been evolving through that. So the 3 biggest stages I'm going to show you right now. And also, I really want you to stick around and pay attention to this. For those of you who are starting out your business, for those of you who are stuck at a certain revenue level in your business, you're wanting to scale up, this video is going to be for you. And those of you who are wanting to really go up to the 100K months, this is also going to be for you. Okay, so to start off, I want to share with you where I actually started off before I did this business. So what I do is I have a coaching business, and that's the only thing I do. I help people transform their lives, their businesses, their relationships, and help them take it to the absolute next level by helping them shift at the identity level. Okay, so really before I even did all of this, where I was stage 1. And in stage 1, a year ago, before I started my business, so February 2019 was when I started enrolling my first few clients into the coaching business. And where I was back then was I was in college doing my senior year, doing my second semester of my senior year. And I was supposed to go into a corporate career doing engineering, right? But what I saw was that, engineering isn't something I wanted to do, right? I studied engineering in college. I didn't even know what I truly wanted before I went into college. All I knew was that I wanted to be a mad scientist, kind of physicist, and I like math, right? So I combined both of them and I was like, oh, what can help you get a job? And so I went into college thinking, okay, engineering is a combination of physics and math, and also I'll be able to get a job after and not be broke. So based on that decision, I went into college with the choice of mechanical engineering. I did mechanical engineering really seeing that, okay, well, this isn't something that I actually want to do, but rather this is what society told me I needed to do. So I wasn't really living on my own desires, but someone else's. So there was huge conflict within me for that. And what I saw was that after doing 2 summer internships at an engineering firm, I saw that this isn't something I wanted to continue for the next 40, 50 years of my life and then retire to only start my life then. Right? So I could project out and see what my life would look like. And I was like, holy shit, I don't want that. So for the longest time, I knew what I didn't want. I didn't truly know what it is I did want. So what I was coming from was an avoidance or a scarcity mindset. Okay, so at that time I was at a scarcity mindset. And why this is important for you to know is because I knew what I didn't want. And because I knew what I didn't want, all of this attempt that I made into what I vaguely knew I wanted, aka financial freedom, at the time I was like, okay, I don't want to do engineering. What do I want? I want to be like these entrepreneurs who are getting into financial freedom and they're making money. Oh, my friend is doing this, so I could also do that, right? I could also try drop shipping. I could also try affiliate marketing. I could also try stock market trading, see if I'm successful at that. But I truly didn't know what my heart wanted, right? I didn't have clarity on that. So I was just frantically going about these attempts, hoping one of them would stick. And the more I tried every single one of these, the more I saw that when times got tough, I just gave up. Like I even got a book on stock market trading. I started reading that, started to try and implement it. And all happened was I just lost money. I lost a shit ton of money in the stock market. And I just didn't make anything. And I was just moving more and more away from what I truly wanted because it wasn't clear to me at the time. So the key takeaway from here in this stage for me was clarity. Okay, so what really happened was I began to see that I was more focused on avoiding going into this full-time job more than actually wanting and desiring to go into entrepreneurship and experiencing a life of financial freedom, right? So I more wanted to avoid rather than actually desire to go into it. It's kind of like people going into relationships. They go into relationships because they want to avoid being lonely rather than actually wanting to experience the relationship, which is insanity. So it really brings you from this mindset of scarcity. So I was very, very clear about what I didn't want. So now I knew that I needed to shift that focal point into what I did want instead. Align my subconscious more with what I did want. Once I started doing that, once I got very, very clear on what I wanted, why it is I wanted it, that's when forward movement started happening for me. That's when I got the idea to start my YouTube channel and just start sharing value. At first, I didn't even know this was going to turn into a business, but somewhere around 2018, I had a YouTube channel anyways, and I decided to just, become regular in making videos. I made a couple of videos here and there, but it wasn't consistent. But I saw that I really liked to do it, and I got good feedback from it. And this was something I was passionate about because personal development was huge for me. And I would always read books on improving and leveling up myself. Because back in the past, I used to play a lot of video games with characters that you could level up. But then one day I got the eureka moment of, why don't I work on just leveling up myself? So that's what I did. I worked on becoming more attractive. I worked on becoming fitter. I worked on becoming healthier. And the next thing for me was working on business and wealth, right? So that's what I shifted it to. And I started giving value, and the more value I gave, I saw that people started to resonate with it. So in January 2019, I started to really amp up putting out YouTube videos, right? And what I saw was that in February, during that time, people started to reach out to me, and they were like, oh, Quasi, I want to, get coaching from you. I'm struggling with this. I see you're really good at this. I see you've overcome this. Please help me with this. And that's what happened in February 2019. After I got clear about all of these things, after I started to double down on making videos, first few clients started to reach out to me and I started doing coaching. But before that, I had no idea that this was the path I would take. Like when I first started my YouTube channel, I had no idea that my YouTube channel would be my main source of business and that I would start getting coaching clients from that, right? So the key thing for me here was getting clear on what I did want for my life, having a big enough vision for that, and moving forward, doubling down on it. Okay? So once I did that, I was able to start up my coaching business, and then I got clarity around, okay, maybe this is the path I can take instead of stock market trading, affiliate marketing, all that. Because this is something I'm truly passionate about, and when things go to shit, I will stick, right? So I had a big enough why for why I was doing it. I wanted to give value, I wanted to help someone else, and I wanted to really, see make a sort of impact on society. So that's what I started to do. And as I started to do that, I saw that, my first month that I started, I did my first 2K month. And then I went up to 3K. So stage 2 for me was doing around 0 to 3K months in the business. Okay, back then I just arbitrarily came up with the idea reality mastery, and because my book was called Life Mastery. Back then I wrote the book, but I didn't know that I was going to start up a coaching business. But when I did, I was like, okay, it'll be a fun name to call it, Reality Mastery. Right? So back then I was doing 0 to 3K months, and it was going well. It was inconsistent, nothing really consistent. I still wasn't sure that I was going to quit my full-time job and just double down on this, right? I was kind of perusing the idea. I was kind of afraid to come out to my parents and tell them, hey, mom, dad, look, I want to do this full-time, because they're brown, they wouldn't get it. From the culture that I come from, they totally wouldn't get it. They'll be like, oh, what the hell are you thinking? Just get a secure job and just be secure. Like, what is my son doing? That's what they would say. And that's what they did say when I did bring it up to them. But then in stage 2, what I saw was that the hindrance for me from getting to consistent 5K months. So the goal for me was to get to consistent 5K months, and then I would tell my parents that I want to quit. I don't want to go full-time with this. Okay? I don't want to go full-time with my engineering career. Because I had an offer letter from the place I did internships at. They gave me a full-time position. And they told me, after you graduate, you're free to come here. But I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. Right? So what really helped me overcome the 0 to 3K months, and what I saw was missing for me, was that I had no commitment. Because I had this option on the side, and I had a sort of a safety net, I was more veering towards the safety net. I was like, okay, I could go back to the job. It isn't that important to me, and I didn't really push that. But then when I started to realize that, okay, the safety net was a problem, then I started to become too attached. So the balance wasn't there. I couldn't find the sweet spot between the effort and the surrender. I was either putting in too much effort and needing it too much, or I was too detached from it. So at the first stage, I was too detached. I was like, oh, this is great. I'll just make a video every other week. And then at the other stage, I was like, oh, dude, make a video every single day. At one point, I was making 7 videos a week, right? And I saw that I was just jumping around between effort and surrender. And I didn't find that sweet spot. So that was a big takeaway for me. But then what happened was, because I made this decision, at the end of it, I made the decision, I told my parents, you know what, even though I'm doing 0 to 3K months, inconsistent 3K months, I want to do this full time. I know I didn't get to my 5K month as I promised you, but I want to do this full time. And I rejected the offer to get started with the company. And I went full time into my coaching business. And that's when it all started, right? So the month of May, I graduated, and that's when the big test came for me. And the big test was the month of May, I made absolute zero. I moved in back home, and I started working here. Every single day I would do my 12-hour days, do the outreach, post YouTube videos, reach out to clients, try to get clients, and every single call I did tanked. That whole month, my attachment level was like up here. It was so high. I needed to get a client. I needed to make money to show my parents that I could do it. I was trying to prove to them. And every single day I would go downstairs for breakfast, and my dad would be like, did you get any clients today? For dinner I would go down, did you get any clients today? No, you should go back to the job. You didn't get any clients today? You didn't get any clients? Oh, look, you suck. This doesn't work. So this kind of voice wasn't serving me, So I saw what was happening there. My attachment level was getting too high. I needed it too much. And now I was veering off to that side where the attachment is too high. And when you need it too much, dude, nothing good happens out of that. So that's the big test for me, the month of May. And I remember really just one day, like towards the end of the month, I just broke down and I started crying in my room. And, I just couldn't make it. I couldn't do it. And that's when the release happened for me. That's when I went from the attachment to, you know what, fuck it, whatever happens, happens. I'm going to keep going at it. I'm going to just keep trying. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to stay up with my conviction. I maintained the conviction and the original intention that I started it off with. This was absolutely crucial for me. And as a result, what happened? June, I hit my first 5K month. July, I hit my first 8K month. And August, I finally hit that 20K month I'd been dreaming of. So my journey in a graph with revenue would probably look like this, like up, down, up, down, up, down, and then down in May, and then up, 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 up. So it just went up because this was the coordination period for me. So the biggest takeaway from stage 2 that helped me transition onto stage 3 was coordination, doing that big release and understanding that sweet spot between effort and surrender. Not needing it. When you need it, it'll never come. The hungry never get fed. Okay? So that's what I took away from stage 2 that helped me transition onto stage 3. So after I hit my first 20K month in August, now the next challenge was hitting my first 100K month. For those of you who've been following me since August, if you click up here, you'll see the video when I posted that I hit my first 20K month in my business. Okay, and the next stage for me was getting to the 100K months. And I even declared in that video that, okay, well, now it's August and now I hit my 20K month. I want to get to 100K months next. So what really happened in stage 3 was when I hit my first 20K month, because I'd overcome this period of coordination, I maintained my conviction, it really started all just going up, right? So I went from 20K in August to 70K in September. And in October, I hit a 75K. But then in November, it went down to 50K. And December, it went up to 85K in cash collected. Right, so I was really hovering between the 70 to 90K months in my business, and I couldn't just go up and reach it was so close, but I just couldn't reach it, right? And this was, again, a test of my conviction. Did I really want this? You know, is this something, is the 100K months really what I wanted? Every single time I surpass the stage, there's always a test that comes. Life will always test you every time you're upgrading to a new level. The biggest problem is that when life throws these tests, people yield. When you yield, you've lost. You've failed the test. When you maintain the strength in your conviction and you don't doubt yourself, you still keep persisting and moving with the original intention you set, life will yield. Your external world will yield. So really the question is like this. Who's going to yield first? Is it going to be you or is it going to be your reality? Because if you keep up the thoughts and the attitudes for long enough, eventually life will have no choice but to yield and give you what you want. And that's what I learned the hard way. Right? So stage 3 for me was the test of conviction and really seeing if I wanted that 100K month. But by then I was very, very well versed in reality creation, in the reality mastery system that I even teach in my program. So I saw that, okay, well, this is what's happening. I know I'm going to get to the 100K months. It's just a matter of when. So I persisted with pure intention, free from all attachment, free from any importance that I had towards the goal. And as a result, forward movement started happening. So even though I fluctuated up and down, and the biggest test for me here was clients refunding and disputing, this destroyed my internal state because this isn't something that I could deal with. But I saw that this is just a part of doing business. You know, when you do business, these kind of things happen. If your internal state gets shaken up, if even a little bit of your attention goes to that focusing on that negative thing, the undesirable outcome, you're fucked. You're not fit to do business, right? So most people, they do business, their internal world isn't even there. That's why they're never able to maintain it. You'll see that, poverty, it's like it's an internal state. Brokenness is temporary. Poverty is an internal state. Once you become wealthy, first of all, you can still be poor inside. And one of two things happen when you become rich unconsciously. First of all, you either lose all that wealth, or second of all, you're never able to enjoy that wealth and you keep holding on to it. So that's the biggest failure, right? Failure is when you've become successful but you can't enjoy it. There's no fulfillment. That's the ultimate failure. So here for me, the biggest key was, crafting my internal state and staying convicted in that version of myself, staying rooted in that ideal self. Okay, so the key for me was consolidating my identity in that 100K month version of Quasi. Once I did that, January 31st, I closed down at 109K cash collected. That was the highest ever month I've done. Okay, right now it's February 20th as I'm making this video. So January 31st was my first 100K month. So it took me 11 months from the start of my business to hitting my first 100K month. It's unheard of. People rarely ever make 100K months from starting their businesses in a year. It's very, very rare. But if your internal world is in the right place, because the thing is, I've seen a lot of people in the same programs that I did, in the tactical strategies, Facebook ads, whatever they're doing, YouTube. I've seen a lot of people do that, but not everyone gets to consistency like I did. They don't get to the 100K months as quick. And I started to wonder, well, what's missing? Why are a select few able to do it, but then others fail? It's all this, it's this internal world. Like this internal world is the last 10%. If you have the external world, it's always going to be a band-aid. If you have the tactics and the strategies, that's great. But if you're the problem, then none of those strategies matter, because the strategies are going to fall apart anyways. Who is the one that's implementing? Right? It's always at that being level. If you don't become worthy of it, you're never going to be able to keep it around. Bullshit's going to help you get to the top, but it's never going to help you stay there. It's as simple as that. So that for me was the final nail in the coffin that helped me get up to that 100K month. Okay. So really this was the stage of how I evolved from absolute zero, from almost going to a corporate career, to ending up at 100K months, doing something that I love, and really doing something that actually gives value, makes an impact, something that I will continue doing. The next goal for me is to get to 300K months and make reality mastery an absolute worldwide and international thing. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to share with you the biggest takeaways that I had from this journey that I want you to take away and actually remember every single day in your life as you're going through your business, as you're going through your professional career. I just want to let you know that it's 100% doable. Dude, if I can do it, so can you. I'm not special. I'm not gifted. I don't have some special talent. All I do know is my internal world is in the right place. If you keep your internal world in the right place, doesn't matter. It's going to happen anyways. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen, right? So let's talk about the biggest takeaways that I had. The first and foremost was having a clear vision and also clarity on the desire, okay? And what I mean by this is if you have a clear and a larger than life vision and you're very, very clear about your desire, you're focused on more the desire rather than what is not desired, you're going to move there. If 51% of your thoughts are focused on what you actually want and 49% on what you want to avoid, then you're going to move in the direction of the desire. Okay? And also raising your internal standards, your internal floor and ceiling. A lot of the times people, like I have a lot of entrepreneurs in the program, and the biggest thing they struggle with is consistency. They get to the 10, 20K months and then they self-sabotage, end up at ground zero, right? It's because their internal floor and ceiling is like this. Their ceiling is 20K, their floor is, 5K. When they hit 5K, they start panicking, right? And then they bring themselves up to 20K. And then when they hit 20K, they slack off. So their internal floor and ceiling is just too narrow. First of all, the range is too little. Or even the case is that, they got to raise that ceiling, right? So they got to raise both the floor and the ceiling. My floor now has become 100K months. Like every single month, 80 to 100K months. That has to be consistent. My ceiling is now 300K months. That's what I want to get to. But actually, if I want to get to 300K months, my ceiling's got to be 500K months. So I'm raising my internal standards of what I will accept, because you get what you tolerate. If you tolerate the 100K months, you're going to get the 100K months. Right? So that's that. Who I am has completely changed. Right? If you look at me when I was doing 20K months, I was a different person. I would communicate in a different way. I would talk to my prospective clients in a different way. I would pitch my offer in a different way. I would communicate with my existing clients in a different way. They would get a different level of results. Like people are getting much better results now because who I am has completely changed. I've become a better coach. I've become a better business person, right? So that's number one, having a clear, larger than life vision to the point where you raise your internal floor and ceiling. Like if you're doing this to just make a little bit of money, don't do it. Like if you can't drive with a big vision, you're never going to get to the 100K months. You will end up at the 10 to 20K months at best. If you want to really go from those 10 to 20K months to the 100, 200K months, this has got to be an absolute revolutionary thing. Your goal has to be to inspire and change the world, right? So if you look at anyone, look at Elon Musk, look at Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, they all had a larger than life vision for what they wanted to do. Okay, so that's the first and foremost thing. Number two is establishing yourself in the ideal self. What I mean by that is getting awareness around who you are now, who it is you need to become to be able to achieve that goal. So if you become this ideal self, once you get clarity on your dream, right? So let's say you're currently at 10K months and you want to get to 100K months. And this 10K a month version of Quasi is the 1.0. Who is the version of Quasi you need to be in all of these different aspects of your life? Every single day when you're dealing with a refund or a dispute, who is the Quasi 2.0, the 100K month version of Quasi? How would he deal with that, right? How would 100K month version of Quasi deal with the ad accounts that are tanking? How would the 100K month version of Quasi deal with the client that's being annoying, right? Would you cut him off, or would you tolerate and still keep that business around? So you got to get awareness on that. Every single action that you do, who is it that's conducting it? From what place is it coming from? Who am I that's showing up to work every single day? Am I showing up as the 1.0 self? Am I showing up as the 2.0 self? Getting clarity around that is the first thing. This is why we focus on the what, why, and who. Finding clarity around that in the Reality Mastery Program. Okay? That's number 2. Number 3 is passing the tests. I can't understate the importance of this. Coordinating and also consolidating. So what I mean by this is whenever life doesn't go your way and you don't get what you expect, because the path of 100K for me was like this, was 75K, 85K, and then 50K, right? But when I hit the 50K, did I lose faith? No. It's just temporary. I know that life is just going through the path of least resistance. It's just what had to happen in order for me to get to the goal that I needed to get to. 50K, and then 85K again, and then 109K, right? So that's the path that I moved. But the mind thinks it knows what's best for it, right? So it holds on to those little things. It holds on to the, oh no, everything has to go 100% my way, instead of focusing on that Polaris star and letting life coordinate. So really it's like setting the goal on your GPS, the destination, but then you try to say what path it should take. Like people go to the barbershop, they're like, okay, I want this haircut. But then they're like, no, don't make that too short. No, don't do this, don't do that. When I stopped doing that, I started getting better haircuts too. I just told them, look, this is what I want, do what you got to do. When I sign on with a coach, I say, look, this is the goal I want, tell me what I got to do, help me with it. I put my trust fully in the coach. I don't question the process or distrust the process. I evaluate at the end of a period. I look back at it and see what's happened, what went right and what went wrong. Right? But as I'm doing the process, I don't ever question it. It's kind of like turning on your Facebook ads and you're like trying to change the ads every 2 seconds. That fucks up with the algorithm, If I put up a YouTube video with a certain title and everything, if I start changing and messing around with everything, it's just going to mess it up. Instead of giving it an incubation period, give it some time. The biggest problem is people don't have patience. They want it now, right? We've been wired to want it now. They don't trust. So coordinate, consolidate, and even trust. Okay, this is something that I missed. And by trust, I mean trust in the world to deliver this goal to you and trust in your ability to figure it out. This is absolutely key in entrepreneurship because you're going through murky waters. You don't know what it's going to be like. If you don't know what it's like, you just have to have faith, or else it's never going to work. If you start doubting yourself at every single step of the process, you're just going to move one step forward, one step back. If I started doubting myself when I hit the 50K month, I would have never gotten to the 100K months. I would have changed everything. If I listened to what other people were saying, like, oh yeah, you should try this funnel and that ad strategy, instead of focusing on the bread and butter, what's actually working, then I would have failed for sure. Sticking to that one thing was key for me. Right? Having that clear vision, when you have a clear vision, you will get instructions from the world. Your subconscious will receive instructions on what you need to do. You just have to trust those and act on those. Napoleon Hill talks a lot about this in Think and Grow Rich. So with that, I conclude this video. I sincerely hope this was helpful. Just to recap, I want to really recap this journey from how I went from a corporate career doing zero in my business to 100K months. There were 3 stages of it. The first stage was getting out of the 9-to-5 conditioning, the corporate job, corporate career conditioning, when I was holding on to the security of the job and knowing more on what I didn't want rather than getting clear on what I did. Getting that clarity, getting out of the scarcity mindset. Stage 2 for me was actually getting to commitment and passing the test, which was coordination. When life throws you these tests, you keep your internal world still. Be still and know that I am, right? So You keep your internal world still. You don't let it shake you. Stage 3, going from the 20K months to the 100K months. And this is, again, the test of conviction. You're always going to come through tests at all of these different stages. And this is where you've got to consolidate that identity of the 100K month version of yourself. That's what helped me do it. And finally, the 3 biggest takeaways was having a clear vision, setting out with that, and also having clarity on your desire, focusing more on the desire rather than what is not wanted. What do you want to avoid? And also raising this internal floor and ceiling that you have, having a larger than life vision. Number 2 was establish yourself in the ideal self, the version of yourself you would like to become. Every single day, ask yourself, who is it that shows up? Who is it that did this? Evaluate your action. Did it come from a place of the 2.0 version, or did it come from a place of the 1.0 version? And finally, passing all of these tests. Coordinating and consolidating, and also trusting, both in yourself and the universe. With that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope this was helpful. And if you're new to the channel, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. And also, I am super excited to announce that the free one-to-one consult with me, a couple of spots have opened up. We've been fully booked. So please click on the link in the description below to sign up for the consult to see if it would be a good fit to work together. I just want to let you know that if you're serious about transforming your life and taking it to the next level, and really only if you're serious, please sign up. Please don't sign up if you're just looking to have a conversation. We're fully booked and we're only saving spots for those who are absolutely serious about taking their lives to the next level. Typically, this is for you if you are a business person, you're a business owner, you are an entrepreneur, you're hitting a certain revenue level, you feel stuck, you're a professional looking to transition out and get clarity around your life. So make sure if you're one of those, click on the link in the description below, sign up. Let's see how we can help you. And also, I'm super excited to announce our Facebook group was also open to take advantage of. The link for that is also in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.